Welcome to the Success Agents Podcast, where we deliver weekly guests that bring insights to the elements of your business to become more profitable with skills and knowledge and tools. Help you with more automation so you have less procrastination with your host, JP Fluellen. What up, everybody? It's another episode of the Success Agents Podcast. Your host here, JP Fluellen. And we are back again with another fine episode. Last time we talked about year one, the JP Fluellen journey on real estate and how I got started in this business. And we're going to go ahead and continue that conversation right now about going from zero to doing over 130 transactions in a year. And so last time we talked about just making that decision on kind of finding your place in the real estate world, how to get that thing going, you know, getting the drive, wanting to be there, wanting to be successful and just kind of getting a taste of that. And, you know, it was a rocky start for me. I'm not going to lie. Like, this was a completely different journey than I'd ever been on before in terms of a career. And now, you know, I'm doing pretty well. And so I was doing well enough to start a team and scale that out. And so we're just going to kind of continue that conversation on how I got to where I'm at today. And so my second year in the business, I had gotten in, you know, where we're at, we didn't get hit by the crash until right around 2011. And that was when we really got hit hard. We're a military town where we're at, and a lot of people were upside down because, you know, they say, buy VA, buy VA. Well, what they don't tell you is you're upside down for the first 2 to 3 years in a VA loan unless you put money down. And a lot of the lenders were preaching, get involved, get a home and use a VA, don't bring any money down. You can get payment assistance from the sellers. And then when the crash hit us, people were upside down. And so a lot of people were, you know, anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000 upside down in order to sell their homes. So then what happened was people needed to rent their homes out because they were unable to sell. And I was getting probably 4 and 5 and 6 calls a day of people looking for rentals. And so we were getting people that were trying to want to list their properties, and come to find out they couldn't because they were upside down and they didn't want to, you know, a lot of these are young families that don't have those kinds of resources to bring to the table. So what we ended up doing was really getting, trying to find a solution for this problem. And at that time, my broker really did not want to get into the rental business. And I just convinced him, I'm like, man, we're getting, these are leads. Like, these are possibilities that we're not capitalizing on. I mean, these are calls, these are free phone calls that people are calling and saying, hey, you know, fix my problem. And so what I did was I came to the table several times. My broker kept saying, I don't want to get into the rental business. And I said, dude, I have rentals. I have my personal rentals. I know how to work these rentals because I had rentals before I got into real estate. And so after several conversations, he said, okay, fine, let's do it. But I really don't want to get into this as a long-term solution to this problem. So he was basically saying, this is temporary. You know, let's work this until we run out of leads. We're doing this for a specific purpose. And I said, okay, I got this. So he didn't know much about property management. You know, I did. So I just kind of took it as my baby. And that year, my very first full year in real estate, I ended up doing 18 deals. That may not sound like a lot for a lot of you listening right now, but when you're coming from being brand new to a market area and in a town where the percentage of real estate agents to population is really high, you know, which is intimidating, And so I, just jumped in both hands and figured out, well, both feet. You don't jump with your hands. I jumped in with both hands and decided that this is what I was going to do. And so, I felt like I was on top of the world, and from my previous job, after selling those 18 deals, and at that time, the average purchase price was like right around 165, 175 for our area. And so I thought I was doing pretty good. And, when you get a kind of a taste of kind of getting the momentum of real estate and like how you can scale out your business, I, looked at what areas are there problems that, I can come up with a solution. And so that was where I kind of niched down was in that converting renters into buyers. And so that was really, really exciting and really fun and really felt like I actually had turned my original 6 months of not doing anything in the business into an actual business. And I had some other pressures. My wife had just gotten out of the military, starting her own business and doing all these, we were just jumping in all these different directions, and it just got super crazy. And so, yeah. So there were some personal life problems in there. We didn't have any income for 4 months, and it was just pretty nuts, just all the different things that were happening all at one time. So that's my journey on year 2. And I just, I realized that, real estate's kind of like baking a cake. You got to put all the ingredients together to taste the goodness. And so that same year, I looked into online lead gen and some different things. And back then, I think there was a company that actually called online leads. So that's how generic it was back then. And, and you had to pay pretty big dollars for to get online lead gen. And so I believe Zillow had just started launching. And at that time, you could get into Zillow for $99 a month. And so I was like, you know what? If they can give me names and phone numbers and people to call, for a very minimal cost, I'm down with it. And at that time, Zillow was sending out 30 and 40 leads a month. And those of you that are listening that have been in the business a while, what kind of names that we're coming across: Mickey Mouse and, Sylvester Stallone and all this kind of crazy stuff that was coming across. And you would just have to, weed through that and find the gold, within the sand, and, scripting and follow up and all of these different tactics that you had to learn were just coming out. And, understanding how responsive that you have to be. And so, I was just learning this process. I had nobody to mentor me. So all I would do is just go on the internet and try to find scripts and try to find one scripts that would work with my personality, and trying to find the right way to say the right things from a psychology standpoint to get the right kinds of reactions from the people I was calling. And, they do say that, just like anything else, it takes money to make money. And so I felt like, all right, well, I'm getting some limited success in certain areas. Let's double down in those areas. So, after I would reevaluate kind of what I was spending every quarter and double down. And, it just felt like every time I was putting a little bit in, I would get more than a return back. And so I felt like that was the best way for me to get the immediate results in my real estate business. And some people that are listening might say, you need to build your business organically. You need to get a solid sphere of influence, and you need to get out in the community, and you need to do this, and you need to volunteer, and you need to get your name out there and do all these things. And to me, it's just like, you can, and I always looked at real estate as there's two paths. You can either spend your time or you can spend your money. And at this time, I needed to scale because I had one child, I had twins, and I had one on the way when I jumped into real estate. So spending my time was already sucked up with kids. And so I needed to figure out a way to scale my time. And so I just leveraged my time with money. And so if you guys listen to Buffini and some of these other things, they're really big spenders on time, doing pop buys and running around town and dropping off things of value and all that stuff. That's fine and dandy. That's great. It does, a lot of that stuff is pretty inexpensive, but it's going to cost you a lot of time, unless you hire someone to drop all these things off for you. And then you're kind of back to the same thing. So those are some things you need to think about when you're trying to build your real estate career, is how you're going to structure your lead gen. So if you want to use the internet, then you've got to really dive in and understand how that works, whether it's Google ads or Facebook ads or whatever it is. Just understand that, that you have two paths. You can either pay for time or money. And so I would really dive in, figure out if you have a budget, because real estate's not cheap. Start small is the way I would suggest. And then there's tons of other websites out there that will pay referrals. If you just go on Google and type in referral lead gen, or free real estate profiles, and you'll pop up all sorts of different websites will pop up. So that's what I would do. And a lot of those, it's based on conversion. So the more you convert, the more leads they will send you. So it's not like a round robin, or if you're paying for a certain amount of percentage of ad space. A lot of those referral type websites, they will continue to keep referring you clients because you're doing more conversion. So if you really get your scripts dialed in and you really get your conversion rates higher than your area, then you'll get more leads. So for today, that's what I've got for you guys. So really, I try to give actionable items, something that's real. A lot of podcasts out there you listen to, it's just a lot of fluff and theory and, all these things that they don't get down to very specifics. So, if you're thinking about a career in real estate, just really kind of think about what the actual costs are to do this business, because it's not cheap. And, just because a friend said, man, yeah, you'd make a really great realtor, doesn't mean that you would, or it doesn't mean that you've jumped in fully prepared for what this actually will take for you to be successful. So I hope this was good. I hope this was actionable for you. This is year 2 in my career. Next time we're going to talk about year 3 and just kind of how things really took off. And so if you guys like what you're listening to, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. We are also out on Stitcher, Spotify, and Anchor FM. And so please give us a 5-star review. That's how we get better rankings in the business category. And also, we just launched a coaching program for those of you that would like something a little bit more specifically dialed into you and your market. You can check us out at TitanEliteCoaching.com. And also, I wrote a book this year. It is now out on iTunes, or actually it's out on Kindle, and also in paperback on Amazon. And all of those informations will be in the show notes. And so thank you guys for joining us. We do appreciate it. We appreciate all of the reviews. Please give us a share, give us a like. We do post the videos on Facebook as well under Success Agent Podcast. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. So we'll catch you later, guys. Deuces.